Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I am going to be doing my acrylic nails. I've decided on cheetah print or leopard print just because I've never had that before and I wanted to experiment with a bit of nail art. So that is what I've gone for today. So the first thing that I do is push back my cuticles. This is not necessarily, you don't necessarily need to do this, but I think sorting out your cuticles and doing a bit of prep just makes the nails look more professional and just a lot nicer. So with this tool I'm removing the cuticles, pushing them back, and then using this tool to remove them makes it easier to do the acrylics, because when you put an acrylic down it's not getting all over your cuticles. So now my cuticles have been removed, I will be very lightly filing down the natural nail to get rid of the waxy layer. You don't really realise that you have a waxy layer on top of your natural nails, but you do, and that causes lifting and means that your acrylics won't stay. So if you file them down, it gets rid of the waxy layer, and plus it means the acrylic has something to grab onto. Now get rid of the nail dust, whatever you want to call it, because that will also cause lifting and it won't stick down as well. Now this is dehydrator. You do need to use a dehydrator when doing your acrylics because that is what's going to keep your acrylics on your nails. Now I didn't know this for a really long time. I never ever used to use a primer and a dehydrator, and my acrylics would last probably about 5 days. Now if you use a dehydrator and a primer, both of mine are from Nail Nails, your acrylics will minimum last 2 weeks. So if you're going to be spending this amount of time doing your nails, you may as well add in these 2 steps because they'll last so much longer and be less damaging for your natural nails because it won't lift. And obviously when they lift, it's just ripping up from your natural nails and it will definitely damage them. So I would recommend using a dehydrator and primer. You don't necessarily need to use Nail Nails, just have a look on Amazon or online. But yeah, definitely use a dehydrator and primer. So now I'm going to be sticking on the tips. I use KDS glue. You can get this from Amazon. Most things here, just have a look on Amazon and you will see the products. Like these tips are also from Amazon. I think every single thing I use in this set you can get from Amazon. So if you're wanting to get into nails, just have a look on Amazon because that is the best thing ever. So now they're stuck down, I want to chop them down. I was originally going to go for really long nails just because, I don't know, that's just what I'm into. I much prefer long over short. I just feel like, I don't know, it's just more me. But then I realised, to be honest, there's no point having long nails because I need to be doing schoolwork, and typing on my laptop with long nails is a lot more difficult, and especially if I'm wanting to get my work done quick. So I ended up going back and making them shorter, as you'll see in a minute. But yeah, filing them down, this is important to obviously making it the shape that you want, but I'd file it down before putting your acrylic on because that means you've got less acrylic to file. So definitely file now and then file after you've put acrylic on as well. And I would say most of the biggest thing with doing your acrylics is filing. That's the thing that's going to take most of the time because that's the most important in my opinion. That's what's going to make the nails look nice if you do some really nice filing. So now I'm buffing the tips because the tips were completely smooth and the acrylic's not going to stick to that very well and it's just going to lift, and we don't want that. So if you buff the shininess away and give it a bit more texture, it means the acrylic will sit on the nail a lot better and will last a lot longer. So I'm using Mia Secret Acrylic, Nail Nails monomer, and a brush that I got from Amazon. I love all these products. You can honestly get all these products from Amazon, so please have a look. Now I'm using my brush. I think it's a size 12 brush, I believe, so it's more on the larger side. I don't know if I'd recommend a large brush. Just have a look online and see what you would get, what you would find easiest. Now I will say that with the acrylic it does take time to learn. I'm still learning the ratio from monomer and acrylic. I feel like I make it a bit too wet. I think it's just a very wet bead that I'm using at the moment, but I am practicing, and from when I first started doing nails, oh my gosh, I am so much better now. So just expect, if you're gonna start out straight away, like the first time, it's not gonna look like this straight away. Like, when I first started doing nails, after doing acrylic, it was so bumpy and I'd have to do so much filing after I'd applied the acrylic just to make the surface smooth. But now, once I've applied the acrylic, the surface is practically smooth already. You can see here, this is a really wet bead. So try and make it a lot more dry, because otherwise you're gonna struggle controlling where the bead goes. And do not forget to wipe your brush, because if you don't wipe your brush, you will have acrylic dry in it and you won't be able to use the brush anymore. So that's really important. So I'm using a nail drill. You don't need to use an electric file when doing acrylics. You can use a hand file, but I think it makes the process so much quicker. So I'm just smoothing down the surface, making sure there's no bumps, and making sure that the nail kind of curves like it does naturally rather than just being straight. But try not to remove too much acrylic, because you still want the nail to be strengthened. And here you can see I'm just filing underneath. I do that just because there's a little bit of acrylic underneath that I don't want, and it does annoy me when I'm wearing the nails. But that's also not necessary because you're not going to see it. But yeah, make sure you file them down and buff it, because that's what makes it look professional. Because if the acrylic's bumpy, then it's just not going to look that nice. So now we're removing the nail dust, the acrylic dust, whatever you want to call it, ready to apply gel. So I'm doing cheetah print. So I've picked out 4 different colours because that's just what I'm going to be using, and of course a top coat. And I'm using some brushes. I pick out 2 brushes, but I ended up using 1. But of course, if you don't have any of these supplies and you don't want to do cheetah print, you can just pick a colour and paint them as normally. However, if you would like to see how they turned out, just carry on watching, because this is basically going to be a tutorial on how I did my cheetah print, because of course I've already done the acrylics now. So I decided to go with cheetah print on 2 nails, glitter on 2, and then a darker colour on my pinky, just because I wanted to make them a little bit more interesting. But yeah. And I will say, this is a tip for the gel. When you're applying it, make sure you encapsulate it to the end of the nail, because if you don't have, like the bottom of the nail that's going to be touching out now, your keyboard, just the surface, that's going to pull up the gel, if that makes sense. So you want to have the gel all around the nail, not underneath the nail, because that's just pointless, but right at the very tip of the nail, make sure there is gel there, because then the gel is less likely to peel off the acrylic. Now the acrylic obviously will not come off with the gel, but you want the gel to last as long as possible on the nails. The better quality gel you use, the longer it will last, and the less likely it will just peel off. Now I've used these gels before and they have never peeled off my acrylics before. They have peeled off my natural nails, but never the acrylics. And all these gels, I think this gel that I'm using from Manicura, you can get it from Amazon, literally just type it up. I think it was like $2. So you really don't need to spend a lot of money for gels in the slightest. Just do some research, look at some reviews, and you'll be able to find what you want. So right now I'm this is for the cheetah print. I've decided to put it on like little blobs of the gel on a surface so I can get a more controlled amount of gel, so I'm not using loads at once and making dots that are far too big. You can see here I'm really struggling to get the black out because it's on its way out. I've used a lot of this black. I do need to get another black, that has reminded me. But yeah, just to pick up the right amount of gel and not get too much on my brush. And I did decide to use a very small brush because I'm just using it to make little dots and make my little cheetah print. But other than that, yeah, that's all it really is. It is very simple. First time I've ever done nail art, so please bear with. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. So what I'm doing with this brown is making some dots not like perfect dots and not all the same size, just a bit of variation in there, because obviously with cheetah print there is variation. Not every single print looks the exact same, not every single cheetah looks the exact same. But yeah, that's what I'm going for. I kind of stuck with 5 dots or 5 little prints per nail. I didn't want to cram 6 or do 4 because I didn't want it to be too empty, and I didn't want it to be too full and too busy, because I want it to be quite obvious that it is leopard cheetah print. But yeah, I really like the way they turn out. And then around the dots, the little brown dots, I did black, not all the way around, just on sections of it. And then in between each print I did little black dots, or just different different shaped dots around, just to fill up the spaces. And yeah, it really does look nice. I posted it on my Snapchat story. I was like, oh, I'm really happy with my nails, and so many people popped up like, oh my god, those cheetah print nails are so nice. So if this is my first time ever doing nail art, I'm pretty sure you guys can do this too if it's your first time. But yeah, I'm very pleased. I love the gold that I used with the nails. I think it tied everything together. So then the next step that I did was using a top coat. This is from OPI. I love this top coat. You can just have a quick Google for OPI's website, or have a look on Amazon. Again, I swear this video is not sponsored by Amazon. I swear, I wish. But yeah, using a top coat just to encapsulate everything and make everything look really shiny and smooth. But I'm so happy I went with this look, because it does look really good, and it kind of does look professional in my opinion. And then the next, well, this is not necessary, but I always like to do this if I've just done my acrylics, because that's what happens in the salons. You put some cuticle oil. Mine's from China Glaze, and it smells like chocolate orange, which is genuinely amazing. But yeah, whenever I get my nails done professionally, they always put cuticle oil on, which I love. So I just thought, why not? But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, comment anything down below, any questions, any video ideas. I love to hear what you guys would like to see next, and I will always comment back, as I do whenever someone comments. But yeah, I'm glad that you guys watched the video. Make sure you come back for another one, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!